as he was unable to be protected by the armies of Bastion. We have since created a modicum of control in the area, but the keep is still somewhat in disuse. So it would you would be granted the land, of course, surrounding it, the keep itself, but it would take some repair to bring it up to full functionality.
Do we know what this title that they talked about, the Knight of the Realm?
Yes, a Knight of the Realm is it's somewhat of an honorary title, but it's essentially like a lesser nobility, and it for the most part, all it's really going to do is let you get out of like minor infractions and stuff in like if you do small things within the city and stuff like that, and maybe like
minor celebrity.
Yeah, you're like a minor celebrity. But it is still very, very well respected. It'd be somewhat similar to like a knighthood, a British knighthood. Mostly symbolic, but they do get some little, slight benefits from it. But in this case, you're also getting land and a keep as well. So
huge tracts of land.
Huge tracts of land.
If I do this, will you then reconsider my family's status?
It will be taken into consideration. Andronicus kind of shifts angrily.
Disrepaired land with 2 other people and a useless title does not feed me.
Aye, that's what steak is for.
At the mention of food, Torin kind of looks up for a second from his spy. And he looks over at Sarah and says, with his mouth full of stuff, and let me actually do this properly. How's your port, you know? She says, we will provide you with the staffing necessary to fully stockpile, supply the keep with everything you might need. This would include food, being your primary concern, of course, as you've stated.
Now that you should have led with.
We are prepared to grant you the keep on faith, with your word that you will then assist us in this matter.
Payment in advance? My kind of negotiation.
Heinrich looks at Oscar and says, I like him. As this is going on, then Arden Ironbeard, the other dwarf, stands up. He says, can we get this going? I've got places to be. And he's talking to the other council members, not to you guys.
Well, yeah.
Just making sure you're aware. I just wanted to specify. And so she says, of course. If you are in agreement to these terms, we need you to seek out the librarian.
Is that like a code name, or do you mean the place with the books?
I lost my sheet that has names on it. Sorry, give me just a second here.
You've really been setting me up for these today.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it works. I'm not complaining.
No, I know.
The other dwarves really like you at this point because they kind of dislike some of the other council members too. So. And dwarves in particular tend to be much more. They're much more. They like their own people.
Indeed.
I don't remember where I put that sheet at. So, I'm just gonna have to come up with a new name. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had it sitting there. Apparently, it was something else that looked similar. The librarian is one of the students of Soren Darkstar. She is an accomplished scryer and researcher, and she had been speaking before her disappearance a lot about the coming darkness. Most of it was thrown off as just raving or stress. But at this point, evidence suggests that maybe she knew something that we don't. Her name is...
I'm sorry, what race did you say
Darkness
she was?
came for me.
Kiara Selon. She's a half-elf.
Half elf. Okay.
Last we know, she had ventured out far beyond the controlled areas into the wilderness to search for clues in the ancient ruins throughout the land.
Well,
Did
don't
she
that
have
sound
any-
like a jolly good time?
Did she have any traveling companions, or did she go out on this foolhardy mission on her own?
She began the trip with several other researchers and archaeologists, all heading to the southern ruins, but we have not since heard from any of them. So this happened about a year ago. Obviously, it takes a long time to travel across the land, and it is not unheard of for these research teams to have gone out and not returned for several years. So it was not necessarily anything of concern, but in the current climate, could spell something darker. We believe they were headed to the southern ruins, as these are the only ones that we know the actual location of, but it is possible that they could have ventured forward and somewhere else from there.
So, you want us to go get this information, return with it?
Preferably, we want you to return with Kiara, but if information is all you can find, yes. But if she is alive, try to convince her to return.
By the sounds of it, I probably wouldn't have high hopes.
It's a foolhardy mission that she took on, but
As many have said
for your
before.
offer, I accept.
I feel pretty good about this. This sounds like an excellent time.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
I have one more demand of you before I go.
At the word demand, before anything else is even allowed to be said, Andronicus just stands up and walks out.
I didn't need him anyways. I wanted to talk to the more reasonable people here. There are a lot of beggars in this city, a lot of people who struggle. I want your word on your honor that the young ones will be looked after in my absence.
Yeah.
As you may know, we on the council do everything within our power to provide for the people of this city.
Ha!
Unfortunately, at times, there are too many people in this city to be properly taken care of. But we will do anything we can to help them.
Do I believe them?
Well, considering that the one counselor that's the most vocal about helping people out and that travels around to the other villages and does everything she can to help people isn't here, maybe not.
You swear on the honor of this council that you will look after those who are in need and are too young to fend for themselves. And you've got a deal.
Excellent.
Sure.
All right. So she waves over a guard, and he comes up, and she hands him a couple of items, and he brings them down to you. Each of you is handed a seal of the city, which basically just has like the symbol of Bastion on it. And she says, take these. The merchants in the markets and in the merchants guilds will give you any supplies you need. And we will have a boat prepared for you at the docks to take you across the lake to Riverside, wherein you can commence your whereupon you can commence your journey.
Now, you say any provisions you may need. Does that mean potions of healing?
Anything you may need.
Excellent.
And her saying this, several of the other council members kind of get up and leave because they're basically, okay, it's done. They got other stuff they have to take care of, things like that.
Would this also work at the brothel?
Don't push your luck, Ivan.
And at that point, I am walking away.
Wait, Ivan, how tall are you?
Human size?
Small human sized, or like
Let me check.
average human sized?
In a sec. 5'7".
Okay. I'm literally gonna grab the back collar of your shirt and pull you.
That's great. Okay.
Then I will struggle to get him off.
That's what she said.
Remember, I'm only 4'10", so it's more of a downward drag than anything else.
All right. If you're actually going to try and struggle to throw, oh, you got athletics. Okay. Do a strength check, Nick.
Damn it.
Okay. You're able to pull yourself free, but he was able to pull you out of the doors before he could get free.
I mean, it's a little hard if you're being pulled from behind to stop.
As you're leaving the building, you're walking through one of the hallways, and a tiefling steps out in front of you.
Like, suddenly, or like I could see him before and he just steps away?
He kind of steps out of the shadows, but he wasn't necessarily, like, hidden.
Okay.
He was just kind of like, you can tell he's not, you can tell just by his stance that he's not the kind of person that's like,
Okay, hold on a second.
all out in the open all the time.
I want to look at something.
Go for it.
I am going to put my hand on one of my. Do I have them?
What, daggers?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Okay, so
Yes.
you're talking traditional tiefling, like horns, tail.
Like horns, tail, reddish colored skin, dark black robes.
How common are tieflings in such a world?
They're less common than a lot of the other races, but considering every
But living in the
sentient
city
race
is-
lives in the city, yeah, they're not uncommon
Okay.
by any means. So there's less of them than pretty much any other race. Dragonborn are probably the only one that's maybe similarly populated, but the Dragonborn
Uh-oh.
and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of a lag there. Did someone say something?
No, you froze, and then all of a sudden you said a whole bunch of shit really quick, and then so I didn't really hear what you said.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's okay. I got the gist of it.
Yeah, good enough.
Okay.
Okay.
What can we do for you?